going on? Yeah, so this video is going to be the $1,200 investment build that everyone, just kidding, no one's really gives two fucks about. But yeah, so while I'm going through this, I'm just going to be listing off the parts really that I chose. And then afterwards, I'm going to actually review those parts and tell you maybe what you can skimp out on, or if you want to invest more in that part. I'll let you know in the review. So let's just hop right into this. What the fuck is going on? Today, bringing you the $1,200 investment build, the second build that I have. It's going to be including some Intel parts and, you know, some info and shit. So let's just hop right into this. The first component is going to be the CPU. I went with the Intel i7-4790K 4 gigahertz quad core. It's pretty much the best bang for your buck, and it gets anything done you need done. There's almost no reason to go any higher for people that only game, or maybe streaming game, or, you know, whatever. So there's no reason to go any higher. That'll do it right there. For the cooler, I went with the Corsair H60. I would definitely recommend cooling a CPU if you have the money. I'm assuming you have the money if you have $1,200 drop on a PC. So I would definitely recommend liquid cooling. It'll help your CPU in the long run. And yeah, for the motherboard, I went with the Gigabyte GDA Z97X. Very, very, very nice motherboard. So it supports SLI, Crossfire. It has 3.0 USB headers, fits all kinds of memory, Z97 chipset, so it is pretty much as up-to-date as you can get. And yeah, I think it's a pretty solid motherboard. For RAM, I went with Crucial Ballistic Spore 2, 8GB sticks. Solid. It'll do anything that you need to do. That's more than enough RAM for most people. For storage, hard drive stuff, I went with 1 TB Western Digital. Good enough for most people. And then I went also with a 250GB solid state, so you can put on Windows and a couple of the games that you play most often. Personally, it's exactly what I do. I have the two games that I play most often, Counter-Strike and World of Warcraft, and some other stuff, and Windows, all on my solid state, so all that stuff will load up super fast. For the GPU, I went with the GTX 970 4GB. The reason I went with 4GB is just because it gives you a little bit better of clock time, and it will go better with your i7. I will come back to that in a second, but I did go with just the EVGA GeForce GTX 970 4GB. So it's a very good graphics card, and it won't bottleneck your i7. Anyways, for the case, I went with a fucking baller ass case. The NZXT Phantom 630 Windowed Edition, and it's black, the one that I picked. It's a sick fucking case. If you have the money to drop on it, totally suggest this. Amazing case. Full tower, it's fucking ginormous. The button's on the top, so you can put it on the floor, and there's lots of stuff on it, and there's like just a ton of expansion slots. 2 internal 2.5-inch bays, which are for your SSDs, and then 6 internal 3.5-inch bays, which are regular hard drives, which are pretty nuts. It has the front panel USB 3.0s. It's pretty awesome. So pretty awesome case. For power supply, I went with a 750 watt gold certified. It's fully modular. It's a lot of money to drop on a power supply, but it serves every single purpose for anything you would ever do with your PC, whether you expand or not or whatever. That's a great power supply. So yes. And then I did include an optical drive, which not a lot of people do, but I just think it makes more, like I said, for a more realistic price. So I do include like just a basic optical drive, which is about $15. So to go back through this build and kind of give you some insight on what you can go better on, or maybe skimp on a little bit if you need the money to put into maybe like if you want a better graphics card. So for the CPU, I wouldn't go any lower or any higher. This is the perfect CPU, bang for your buck kind of thing. I wouldn't even, no, just shh. For the cooler, you can go a little bit higher if you want. The H60 will be fine. Just have a basic cooler and you'll be good to go. With the motherboard, you can go more expensive if you want. It just kind of gives you more features. Gigabyte BIOS is perfectly fine. It's got a Z97 chipset with USB 3.0s. So this motherboard is perfectly fine for what you have. It's only like $110. So it's a great price, and it has everything you need for right now. As for memory, the RAM, You can get 32 gigabytes if you want, like if you think you're gonna need it, which I don't see why you would. 16 gigabytes is gonna be way more than enough of RAM for this PC. As for storage, you can go more or less. I like the solid state for a good build just because you want to make sure that you're loading up everything pretty quickly. It's a huge difference, and then you can go maybe less than the 1 terabyte if you want to, or even more. So that's totally up to you. The case that I chose allows you to go more or less if you want to expand later. So you can just start off with one solid state, one regular HDD, and go from there if you want. As for the video card, like I said, I chose the 974 gigabyte because it has great clock times and it won't bottleneck the i7 for just like playing a game. It's fine. Most games don't even come close to using the whole i7 4790K anyways. So the GTX 970 will not bottleneck. You can go 980. That's really unneeded. That if you go look at the benchmarks, you will realize that 980s are actually like one of the best cards you can get, and 970s are really just right underneath. So there's almost no point in getting a 980. Kind of just save yourself some money and just go with the 970. That's why I picked it. As for the case, you can definitely go lower on this case. It's like $150. It's a really expensive case, but it's extremely nice. And with PCs that you build, that you invest into, you want to make sure that each piece that you buy, each component that you buy is a good quality. NZXT is great quality, plus it's got those 3.0 headers. It has a ton of expansion space. So I think it's a great case. As for the power supply, again, you can definitely go lower on the power supply. The reason I chose 750 watts is because everything I picked in this PC build allows you to expand. If you add more into your PC, which you can have double 970s or something if you want, your motherboard supports it, your case will fit it, your power supply will be way more than enough to handle it. Will have enough wattage to handle it. So again, it's good bang for your buck, and it'll do whatever you need it to do. As for the optical drive, like I said, I just include it for a little bit better of an idea of a price, but you don't need it. If you want it, go for it. If not, then it's whatever. But I did throw it in there. So the final price of this investment build is on PC Part Picker is $1,250. It will be more or less depending on where you buy and stuff like that and shipping, but it'll generally be in the $1,200 to $1,300 range. This will last you at least 3 years. This is a great PC. It'll probably last you longer. This would be a great PC. Anything you want to try to run. So if you have any questions about this build or about something that you want to change out or whatever, go ahead and comment down below. You can contact me on Twitter, my streams, or whatever you need. The link for the PC Part Picker will be down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like I said, you can go ahead and comment down below if you have any questions or anything like that. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe for more stuff. And you can watch me live on either of my streams. Those links will be down below as well. And yeah, again, thanks for watching, guys.